Good morning. This is Mike Lodge on The Business Advisor. I'm glad that you're back. Yesterday we went over our budgets, right? We talked about what all needs to be in the budgets, what you need to look at, what you need to take off. You looked at a whole bunch of different things. I hope that you are utilizing that free budget that I have on my website. Free of charge, no attachments to it, nothing. It's just an Excel spreadsheet, and it's at www.lodge-co.com. Click on the business advisory tab up at the top, and you'll see down in about the middle of the page that there is a budget. Use it, and use all the other forms in there too if you can need it, on determining what your net worth is and everything else. So I'm hoping that you guys really sit down and focus on your budgets. It's vital for 2022. I mean, we have already done one quarter already, and you've missed that chance of working on your budgets. So now you've got the second, third, and fourth quarters that you can really focus on your finances. Now, let's pretend that you actually did what I said, and you went in, you sat down with your significant other, and you started to do your budgets. Okay? You've got all of your budgets in for the year, you're starting to record your actuals against your budgets, and the question becomes, now what? Now what happens? What do we do next? Well, now that you've got all the information in there, you pretty much know what the bottom line is. The bottom line is what your net is, okay? Income minus expenses, net. Money that you may have left over. Now, what do? Then you start making some decisions here. If you've got student debt, continue to pay that student debt. It's not going to be forgiven. And as you wait for the president to do something, that interest still accumulates. That interest is still accumulating. No matter if you think it's forgotten, and no matter if you think that it may be forgiven by Mr. Biden, it's not going to be, because he doesn't have the authority to do it. He does not have the authority to do it. Only Congress has the authority to do something like that. So you are still responsible for that student debt. You're still responsible for the student debt. So you have to focus on it. Pay it down. Get it done with, okay? If you've got credit card debt, pay down that debt. If you got extra money, take some of that allotment of that money and start paying down the debt. Put it in your budget of what you're going to pay down. If you have a home loan, start paying down on that. If you got a car loan, get rid of that car loan. Remember, the whole point of having extra money is to make sure that you have no debt. And as soon as all that debt is gone, you have a lot more money that is in your hands. You have income that's available to you. You have a cash flow that's actually working now. And then also, if you've got extra money, put it away for that, what some people call a rainy day fund. I always call it an emergency fund, because you never know when your car's going to break down and all of a sudden you need 4 new tires. All of a sudden you need a new clutch. All of a sudden you need a new transmission. All of a sudden you need a new car. But you need to have that emergency fund. Start with build it up to 1,000, then build it up to 2,000, build it up as high as you can possibly get it. But never touch it. That money is not for your vacations. It's not for a new glamorous look. It's nothing like that. It is an emergency fund. If you don't have that emergency fund, you're going to be stuck using your credit card, because a lot of Americans think that credit card is their emergency fund. That emergency fund using the credit card just became expensive at 18 to 22%. It is something that you have to focus on and think about. Build up a cash reserve. In business, we call it a cash reserve. I love cash reserves. You build it up so just in case something should happen. In business, we build it up. What happens if a legal case comes along and we need to pay attorneys? Or what happens if something breaks in our machines and we have to buy new computers? Or attachments or something. It's always something because something always happens. Something always comes up, even in our personal lives. I tell you, those tires that we have, you hit one pothole, boom-o, and it's gone. You've got one tire that's just disappeared. So there you go, $200 for a new tire. Instead of putting it on the credit card and getting it 18%, use your emergency fund. That's what it's for, and that's why you build it up. So you've come to that point now, you've got to make some decisions. Your budget's in there. You know what you're spending. You know what your cash reserves are. You know what's available to you. What ticket items are you going to hit to get rid of that debt? I'm telling you, debt is evil. At this moment, I have no debt, zero debt. All my cars are paid off. Everything that I have, everything that I do future-wise, I do it in cash. If I don't have the cash, I'm not going to do it. That's just the way that I would love to have a new motorhome. I would love to have a motorhome where I could travel the country. I was looking at my chart the other day. I've traveled 21 not countries, but 21 states in the United States. I have 28 more to go. And I need to be able to do that somehow, but I have not the cash flow to buy a motorhome. So what am I going to do? I'm going to get my trusty Hyundai out. I'm going to get it inspected, and I'm going to explore. Sometimes we can't do everything that we want. I don't have an emergency fund to buy a $100,000 motorhome. But I do have an emergency fund just in case something happens to my tires or my transmission, or I need a new oil change or whatever I need. It's there. So we as Americans, we've got to start thinking how we're using our money. And now that you've prepared your budget, you know where you stand. Now, if you're at the point where you've prepared your budget and the net is zero, you have nothing to work with, well, that means you're going to have to start eliminating some stuff. Maybe you're not going to be able to watch that Hulu show anymore. Maybe you're not going to be able to watch Netflix. Maybe you're not going to be able to have a YouTube TV. Maybe there's a whole bunch of maybes there that you may have to start maybe cutting. That is the problem with money, is we let it get out of hand. We start seeing all these things that we want. Not that we need them, but we want them, so we get them. We have become a want society. I want this, I want that, I want to do this, I want to go here, I want to fly here, I want to get my hair done, I want to get new boobs. I mean, it's this want. It's not, we're not asking the questions on what we need to survive, what we need to save with, and what we need to eliminate this debt. And that is the biggest question that each and every single one of us should be asking ourselves every single day. Do I really need that just because I want it? No, I don't need it. I can live without it. I can get a good book. I can spend more time with my family. I can spend more time with my mom and dad. I can spend more time with my kids. I can spend more time educating myself online. I can do a whole bunch of different things to improve myself instead of sitting there on the couch potato with a big old thing with potato chips watching I Love Lucy. I don't know what you're watching, but I Love Lucy. You see where we're at, people? We're at a situation in this inflationary time where we need to really start thinking about how smart we are in spending our money. How smart we are in spending our time. How smart we are in educating ourselves to become better. Listen, the month of April has been Literacy Month, and I hope that the podcasts that I'm doing during the month of April are helping you to understand your financial literacy, your financial standing, your financial awareness, your ability to understand that the way that we take care of our money is so important. I remember one time I had a friend's mom, and she was from Asia. And she saw how I was putting my money inside my pocket. And I'm sorry, I'm really bad at this. But when I have cash in my hand, I don't really fold it up and put it away. I just kind of wad it up and stick it in my pocket. And when I need money, when I pull it out, it's all wadded up and all ugly. And she says, the way that you treat your money is the same way that your financial life is going to be if you don't wise up. If you're going to crumple away your money and kind of waste it and kind of not organize it, you're not going to be very well off. You're not going to be financially sound. I think that during this inflationary time, especially during the month of April, we should be thinking about our financial literacy and how well we are managing our money, how well we are planning for our future and for our children. This is an amazing time, even though it's a downtime and it's kind of discouraging because it seems as though that we all got 5% raises, but inflation went up to 8.5%, which literally knocked out any raise or any financial gain that you thought you were getting. So you and I, because I have to work on it too, you and I have got to think about how we are stewards of our money. It's very important. Listen, if you want to go and get that Excel spreadsheet that has the budget on there, go to www.lodge.co.com. If you would like to support my podcast, go to buymeacoffee.com/Michael Lodge and help me out. I greatly appreciate it. In our next few days, we're going to be talking about literally financial literacy, and we're going to go over some of the tax lingo that I think it's very important for you to understand. Listen, tomorrow's going to be a learning day. Get your notes ready. Get your pieces of paper and pencils and ink or whatever you use. But start taking some notes because we're going to start learning about our financial well-being and financial lingo. And tomorrow we're going to start attacking the tax terms. This is Mike Lodge. I'll talk with you soon. Bye-bye.